The letter was from the Black Blood sect's leader, Bach, introducing himself and expressing respect toward the new cult leader. He'd even sent a fancy necklace as a symbol of trust between the sects. Realizing the mistake, the elder quickly snatched the necklace from her hand. She looked just as confused as Kim and the second elder. The first elder's face turned pale with regret, realizing how badly they'd messed up. The room fell silent as everyone understood the seriousness of the situation. Kim, his face turning white, looked toward the man responsible and said it was all part of the bald elder's plan. The first elder realized he'd made a huge mistake and begged his master to stay calm and listen to him. He argued that the intruder had caused chaos and killed disciples, so their attack had been justified. But suddenly, the guards who'd seemed unconscious spoke up, asking if everything was okay, laughing because they were still alive. The elder tensed up, realizing the intruder hadn't killed a single one of their people, which made things even worse. A meeting began, and the second elder warned that if this mess leaked outside, the Murim Alliance would learn about their domination plans, and everything would fall apart. The third elder said they should admit their mistake and contact the Black Blood sect to apologize. The redheads slammed the table in anger, demanding why they should apologize to some random sect. A heated argument broke out, with everyone sharing their opinions. The bald elder raised his hand excitedly, eager to share an idea. Kim told him he could speak, but he'd better be ready for what came next. The elder's face went pale as he felt the threat coming from Kim's weapon. After thinking for a moment, Kim raised his weapon and said the plan would definitely work. Confused, the bald elder asked what he meant. With a sly smile, Kim said he'd take all the blame himself. Shocked, the elder asked how that was possible. Kim laughed, saying that wasn't his problem. The elder just needed to apologize and do whatever it took to fix the mess. In disbelief, the bald elder fell silent. When they reached the enemy's base, all he could think about was cursing Kim in his head. His two companions told him they'd arrived. It was a large, fancy mansion. A disciple looked up, using some kind of coded gesture. And just like that, the true disaster's door opened for the elder. He walked in slowly, scanning the scene. Everyone was wearing masks, which made the atmosphere even creepier. One masked man told him their master was waiting in the next room. The bald elder looked over the people lined up, waiting for their leader. When he opened the door, the leader greeted him, saying he'd sent a letter recently and hadn't expected the elder to visit so soon. He introduced himself as the head of the Black Blood sect and said he'd prepared well for this meeting, hoping to set things right. He then offered food, suggesting the elder relax after such a long journey. After a while, the bald elder laughed, saying they'd really surprised him. He'd been thinking about how to deal with his boss's issue. Just thinking about that man made his face turn red. His guard told him to calm down, noting that he already seemed a bit drunk. The bearded man replied that he was just a kid and shouldn't interrupt grown-ups. Soon, the cult leader asked why the messenger they'd sent hadn't returned yet. Under pressure, the elder explained that there'd been an accident on the Mongo clan's bridge, and, despite their efforts, they couldn't save him. Struggling to swallow his food, he said the unexpected result was that their disciple had died. The man across from him stayed silent, showing no emotion. The elder clenched his hands, fearing for his life. He couldn't read any expression behind the mask. Then the leader laughed, saying there was no need to apologize. It was just one man. Feeling bolder, the elder agreed, thinking the guy was actually being nice. Then the masked figure stood up and asked if the necklace had reached the master's neck. With a smile, the bald elder confirmed it had, saying he liked the gift. Looking out the window, the leader removed his mask, revealing a sinister grin. He said it was actually better that his subordinate had died. He'd wanted to meet the master personally to apologize for what was about to happen. Confused but a little relieved, the elder asked what he meant. With an evil smile, the cult leader explained that now they were equals. His precious subordinate was dead, and the cult had lost its powerful master. The bald elder grew even more confused. The leader continued, revealing that the necklace contained a deadly poison, colorless and odorless. Anyone who stayed in the same room with it for too long would slowly absorb the poison. Within a day, they'd be paralyzed, unable to move, and soon after, they'd die. Realizing how serious the situation was, the bald elder tensed up. He knew the necklace was still with his master. Shouting in anger, he demanded to know how that man could do something so twisted. The cult leader calmly replied that he hadn't done anything wrong, and if the old man was angry about it, he could die peacefully too. The elder said living in the past would only cause more problems. He decided to leave, but the leader wouldn't let him go. Confused and terrified, the bald elder asked if the man had anything else to say. The leader told him he couldn't let him walk away alive, since the old man might leak their secret at any moment. Scared out of his mind, the elder shouted that they'd killed his superior, the one who truly deserved this, and that he was on their side now. He yelled again, asking why his bodyguards were just standing there, not doing anything. Looking at them, he called one an idiot because he seemed even more afraid of the boss than he was. Then we see a flashback, back when the elder was apologizing to his leader, saying if he went there he'd definitely be killed. But Kim told him not to worry, which only confused him more. Kim promised to send his best bodyguard, saying it was a next-level plan. Back in the present, the elder thought to himself, wondering why he got such a useless bodyguard. He muttered that he was doomed because of this whole mess. Frightened, he yelled at his enemy to calm down. Just as the blade came close, someone started laughing loudly. The bald elder froze. The second bodyguard had arrived. He said nothing had changed, and with a faint smile, he remembered the old days. When he removed his mask, revealing his true face, he said he'd learned this wisdom, ladies. Seeing him, the bald elder finally felt a bit relieved, though still in shock. The cult leader looked surprised to see him there and asked how he'd even gotten in. The newcomer walked in slowly and asked why the man didn't spend any of his money. The answer was simple. He raised his gun and pointed it at the enemy. Then he said no one gives expensive gifts without expecting something in return. Before all this chaos, we saw the second elder knocking on the master's door. Kim told him to come in. Rubbing his hands together, the elder asked if he could see that strange necklace Kim had received earlier. Kim said sure, though he didn't understand what was so special about it, but warned him to be careful. His little pup had been playing near it. When the elder picked up the necklace and checked it, he confirmed his suspicion. It had something hidden inside, an ultra-poisonous capsule. Kim's face went pale. He finally understood it hadn't been a gift at all. The second elder said the first elder had been completely right. Kim immediately stood up, worried that his little pup might have been poisoned. But the elder told him to calm down. The pup hadn't been near it long enough to be in real danger. Still, it might take time to recover since they didn't know exactly what poison had been used. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Kim said he'd destroy every single person who dared to play this kind of game with him. But the second elder noticed Kim wasn't listening. He warned him not to go overboard. Even though things were deadly serious, Kim's anger made the situation even more dangerous. The second elder suggested a plan, while the bald elder shouted with joy, realizing Kim was still alive. He thought that meant he was safe now. But Kim, furious, ordered him to get out immediately, scaring him half to death. The assassin laughed, saying Kim was overreacting to something as simple as a little poison. But soon he'd regret ever standing there. With an evil smile, he promised that Kim would soon wish for death because of that poison. Unfazed, Kim told him he was crazy to be so excited. Then he said that the thing in his hand could end the assassin's life in an instant. The assassin, who had never seen such a weapon before, smirked, thinking Kim wouldn't get the chance to use it. He said many people had seen his secret technique, but none had ever lived to tell the tale. The tension in the room grew so heavy that even the water in the bowl started trembling. This was the Black Blood sect leader's ultimate move, constant rain. He was preparing for his final battle, ready to end it quickly. But before he could move, a single bullet struck him right in the center of his forehead, killing him instantly. His face froze in confusion as his body fell backward. Kim said his own secret technique was just as terrifying. Many had seen it, but none had survived either. It was a bond they shared, and he wasn't bothered by it. Then Kim noticed something and turned his gaze toward the entrance. He heard multiple footsteps approaching. The assassins, gripping their blades tightly, were ready to avenge their fallen leader. Kim, used to this kind of chaos, said anyone who wanted a gruesome death should come closer to his weapon. The fight broke out instantly. One by one, the enemies were taken down by gunfire. To save bullets, Kim switched to his blade, slicing through enemies with skill as ketchup splattered everywhere. He was a pro at this kind of fight, blocking attacks while firing at the same time. Exploiting their weaknesses, he began carving a path to escape. Moving like a snake between enemies, he landed precise shots and deadly cuts at every vital point. The bald elder, hearing the noise from the room, thought to himself that Kim was truly the #1 martial monster. A few minutes later, Kim stood among the bodies, looking around with a strange expression. Back in his old days, he'd fought one-on-one battles, but facing an entire squad like this was rare. Still, he knew the trick: kill one and the rest panic. Once the wolves fear a single sheep, the battle's already over. Now he just needed to pick the right target, especially since he had only a few bullets left. He had to play it smart. As he looked around, he felt a strange pressure in the air. It made him tense. Suddenly, there was a loud explosion, and dust filled the room. Someone slammed down hard on a table. It was the third elder. She shouted that their leader had to stay strong, or he'd be finished. The second elder said Kim didn't need to worry about his own safety, which only confused him more. He quickly grabbed his tea and muttered that he should have brought another elder with him. In his usual chill tone, he said even if he wasn't that great at fighting, his brain was sharp enough to realize that muscles still need backup. Then the fifth elder arrived and asked if Kim was okay. Kim wondered how the hell he'd gotten there, but the elder asked about the blood on Kim's face. Calmly, Kim replied that it wasn't his, which only made the elder angrier. Shouting, he said those people should beg for forgiveness in hell. Kim called him an idiot and asked why he came alone, but the elder just laughed and brushed it off. Then suddenly, someone punched the ninja in the face so hard his mask shattered. The hitman spun through the air, crashing near the door. The newcomer's punch burned like fire. It carried explosive power. Someone tied a cloth around their head and joined the fifth elder's squad. The elders moved like a real combat unit. Carrying a few unconscious bodies, the fifth elder said he had a whole unit working under him. For the first time, Kim actually liked something he'd done. He ordered them to finish off the rest and got a solid, "Yes, sir," in return. The redhead kicked a thug so hard he flew through the air. With quick footsteps, he appeared behind another enemy, ready for a heavy strike. The fifth elder grabbed the one who dared attack the leader and slammed him into the ground, finishing him instantly. The remaining assassins looked at the elder, sensing a demonic, terrifying aura. He shouted, asking why they were just standing there and not moving. Then he charged at them. After taking down the first assassin, he kicked the next one, completely destroying him. The third one didn't even see the movement before being killed in a single blow. He moved like a beast, hunting his prey one after another. His dark presence filled the room with heavy pressure. Every punch carried monstrous power, as if he were flying through his enemies, crushing everyone in his path. Kim watched it all, speechless. Standing among the bodies, he thought to himself that this guy was actually really useful. Then the bald elder spoke up, asking Kim for 1 minute. He told the cult leader to look behind him because an enemy was coming. But in a split second, Kim killed the man. Blood spilled everywhere, and Kim asked why the elder had even called him. The rest of the enemies were already tied up by the fifth elder's combat unit. Redhead quickly asked what they should do with these people. The answer is simple. They pointed their swords at the cult leader, so even death won't save them now. Resting his hand under his chin, Kim thinks their fighting spirit is impressive and that it might be worth keeping a few of them in his clan. Suddenly, something catches his attention. He slowly walks forward. Fifth elder watches curiously and asks what he's doing. With careful steps, Kim approaches a person who looks no older than a child. The kid's trembling hands seem to scream, "I'm not ready for this yet." Kim moves fast toward the child. He reaches out and removes the mask, revealing the face of a terrified, crying little girl. Seeing this makes him furious. In a flashback, we see Kim as an orphan, a beggar boy at an orphanage. A large man beside him asks why he's not begging properly, saying he doesn't even look miserable enough. The bearded man warns him to improve his act or he'll break his legs. As a weak child, Kim apologizes and promises to do better. Feeling pity for the girl now, he kneels down in front of her and softly asks if there are any other kids her age here. The little girl quickly shakes her head, saying there's no one else. As Kim stands up, a thug yells at the girl for forgetting her duty and orders her to kill Kim. But Kim barely reacts. He raises his gun and shoots the thug in the head for interrupting him. Speaking gently, Kim tells the girl to just keep her eyes closed from now on. Frustrated, he mutters that these cowardly people give swords to kids and send them to do their dirty work. With an angry look, he asks if they even remember what it means to be human anymore. Holding the little girl's hand, he tells Fifth Elder to take care of the rest while he takes the child away. He gives his final order: destroy everyone left here, and if possible, burn them alive. A little later, we see Kim relaxing inside a carriage. The little girl is now with some kind people who are taking care of her. Redhead smiles, realizing the cult leader actually has a soft side, even if he looks terrifying. Soon, Kim glances at the girl and calls her over, asking her name with a faint smirk. The little girl starts crying again, looking completely lost. Fifth Elder tries to apologize, realizing Kim has gone into full protective mode for her. Kim calms the girl down, telling her not to worry and just relax. She nervously plays with her fingers and thanks them for saving her, but admits she probably won't be much help. Gathering her courage, she says she'll do whatever they ask and give it her all. Kim shakes his head and says he kept her alive so she doesn't have to do anything. Then tossing her a curveball, he asks what she thinks she should do. The young assassin replies that she should just play. Kids are good at that. They eat well, stay happy, and do their best to please the people who care for them. When they reach the cult base, the elders rush to greet the leader. They ask if he's back and whether he's injured. Kim says no, he's fine. Third elder notices the little girl and calls her over. Kim finds the girl adorable and decides to ask for a favor. He says he'll stay here for a while and tells the elder to prepare a comfortable place for her. Suddenly, Kim's cute little puppy runs in, but completely ignores him. Confused and a bit hurt, Kim wonders why he's getting no affection. The puppy, without a care, stops in front of the little girl, who instantly melts at his cuteness. She reaches out and smiles as the puppy plays with her. Kim watches the scene and smiles softly, while everyone else is stunned by his gentle side. Rubbing his shoulder, Kim says Third Elder will take care of the girl while he gets some rest. Then he realizes he hasn't asked her name yet. The girl says her name is number 121, the one given to her by the Black Blood sect, since they don't allow real names. Later, we see the girl in a vast white field, crying tears of joy. She promises she'll live as happily as she can. Kim smiles, feeling good about it. But then Second Elder interrupts, saying a letter has arrived from Howland and needs to be read immediately. Kim opens the scroll and calls Fifth Elder, telling him to prepare for a long journey, to find a new shield of flesh. In a dimly lit room, Kim reads the scroll quietly. It's written by the chief of Homan Province, Myung Yi. The message mentions a group of 36 families who are enemies of the Mongo clan. They're a huge threat because of their massive numbers. 36 families and over 100 masters form a powerful force that includes Eugene Yak, one of the top figures on the continent. Kim finds this hard to believe, but he realizes that if these people could be turned to his side, it would be an enormous advantage. Lying back on his bed, he wonders what his next move should be before finally drifting off to sleep. Soon, someone calls for the master. It's Fifth Elder with the little girl. He says the journey preparations are complete. As he tries to greet Kim with a "good morning," Kim slaps him in the face. Sitting up, Kim says he couldn't sleep because he's too excited for the trip, then asks why the girl is here. Haru looks aside, waiting for Fifth Elder's answer. He explains that she just wanted to see the master's face when he woke up. Ignoring that, Kim asks if they're ready, and the answer is yes, absolutely. Fifth Elder pulls out a strange cloak, saying it's perfect for the occasion. With puzzled look, Kim says it looks more like a fairy tale outfit. Haru, however, thinks it's beautiful and compliments both Kim and Fifth Elder. After a brief silence, Kim decides to wear the cloak. It fits him perfectly, matching the one his wife used to wear. Fifth Elder shouts excitedly when he sees how good it looks on Kim, and Haru joins in happily. Soon, Kim moves forward and tells them to hurry up. Haru calls out to the leader, and when he asks what's wrong, she says that while he was sleeping, she played as much as she could and tells him to be careful on the journey. Kim chuckles, saying that's cool and she should keep playing until he returns. When they reach the carriage, Kim notices the sky darkening and asks why there are so many bags when it's just the two of them. Suddenly, third elder appears, saying she's coming too because she thinks it'll be a fun trip. Kim asks why she's joining, and she replies that she knows the route well and it's better to avoid unnecessary drama. Kim thinks having 3 people is better than just fifth elder, but then asks if she's really going in such flashy clothes. She nods, and Kim says it's a bit too much, which slightly annoys her. A little later, they're all inside the carriage, and Kim asks if they're on the right path. Redhead explains they can't go straight because the second commander's headquarters is nearby. Kim suggests they meet the head honcho first, but the elder explains they don't have a close relationship with anyone there. So going to the second commander unannounced might be better. Kim asks what kind of person this second commander is, and the elder says they'll find out together. As the journey drags on, the horse starts to tire. Kim asks what's wrong, and the answer comes that they were talking too much. The elder suggests they camp there for the night and grab something to eat. After a while, he asks if the master enjoyed the meal. Kim says, "Yeah, this is amazing." Suddenly, some trees and bushes start shaking. The third and fifth elders immediately go on high alert. A man approaches, nervously apologizing. He says he's starving and begs for food. The third elder gets a bad vibe from this woman. She's muscular, like a superhero, and says her stomach's growling from hunger. She adds that it's not polite to stop someone from eating during dinner. But looking at her condition, the elder figures she's probably a runaway and that it's not safe for her to stay long. The woman apologizes again and says she'll eat quickly and then leave. She mentions how beautiful this place is. Kim wonders if this girl's lost her mind. She introduces Song Ran and promises to repay their kindness someday. The elder tells her to forget about that and just leave when she's eaten, because things could get dangerous soon. Song Ran apologizes again and says she'll head out right away, wishing them a good dinner as she goes. They quickly realize she must have been in a hurry because she ate all their food. The elder says she'll make more and tells Kim to relax in the carriage, which he agrees to. As Kim walks to the carriage and is about to open the door, he hears horses behind him. He turns around and sees a squad of soldiers approaching. One bearded man shows him a wanted poster and asks if they've seen this girl. Kim immediately recognizes Song Ran on it. He senses these men aren't good news. He starts to speak but decides against it, keeping things calm to avoid drama. Turning back, he says he hasn't seen any such girl and that he's tired and wants to be left alone. But shockingly, the soldier gets angry, veins bulging from his face. He yells, asking if Kim knows who he's talking to, and if he's just begging for death. Already annoyed, Kim asks if the guy knows who he is, but before things can escalate, a voice cuts in. It's the third elder. She says they've never seen anyone like that and tells both sides to back off. She warns the guards not to invade their space again, or there'll be a rain of blood, something she'd rather avoid. Feeling the pressure, the guard reluctantly backs off, saying everything's fine and that they just need to check the carriage to confirm. The third elder asks Kim if that's okay. He says he hasn't seen any girl, but something doesn't feel right. Kim decides to take a look inside the carriage himself. When he opens the door, silence fills the air, and then something moves. It's Song Ran. She says she arrived early and was just trying to hide. With a nervous laugh, she admits she never planned to stay long, but doesn't say where she's going, leaving Kim speechless. He stares at her suspiciously, wondering why she stayed instead of running. One of the guards interrupts, asking if they really intend to fight them. Kim knew this was coming. He never trusted them. These guys are clearly about to attack. Drawing his sword, Kim says they've made a big mistake stepping into his territory. Then he shouts to his crew to catch them all now. The rest of the soldiers charge forward with clear villain energy, especially towards Song Ran. Kim grips his weapon tighter, saying nothing else matters anymore. Fired up for battle, he laughs darkly, saying they won't be escaping this time. The third elder tries to say one last thing, but Kim cuts her off, saying it's too late. Suddenly, something heavy crashes between them. It's the fifth elder, complaining that everyone's being too loud. With a glare, he asks who dares raise their sword against them. Kim calls out to him, and with an eerie grin, the fifth elder replies. Both of them decide to end this quickly. Their faces twist into sinister smiles. The redhead lunges at a soldier who shouts that they only wanted Song Ran and didn't want to fight, but the fifth elder kicks him hard in the face. Taking advantage of chaos, he grabs a horse's saddle, ready to ride. Jumping onto the horse, he seizes one man by the head, laughing maniacally, his dark aura practically radiating. The general realizes these maniacs are tearing everything apart and decides to flee to get back up and save his squad. The fifth elder grows even angrier when he sees the general running away, abandoning his men. Then a sudden flash of light streaks past them. The bearded man laughs mockingly, saying these idiots don't even attack when their enemies are right in front of them. He says that once he reaches the top of the cliff, he'll end this all. But before he can finish his sentence, a bullet rips through his head. The horse freezes and his body falls to the ground, blood splattering everywhere. Kim stands there, dead serious, smoke still rising from his gun. The third elder says that was a reckless move. Messing with the military could cause huge trouble. Even martial artists know better than to provoke them. But Kim, unbothered, asks what they just did. Then he smirks and says one of his famous lines, "If no one saw anything, then it's just a party. They're both here and not here." The elder finds his logic strangely convincing. Then Kim says he's found a direct route to the general and tells the third elder to check that paper over there. When she bends down and looks, she wonders what she'll find. The paper contains strange information about the 36 families. Songran asks what just happened since she's never seen anything like that before. The third elder realizes the girl is actually the general's daughter. Songran explains that the officer chasing her suddenly died, and Kim tells her to stay quiet. She thanks him, saying she'll never forget his kindness and will repay the favor someday. But Kim says she doesn't need to go that far, which confuses her. Then she overhears that Kim wants to meet her father and wonders if Kim is into men. When they arrive at the place, Songran says her people will guide them. Kim looks around curiously, noticing how poor the locals seem. Two men approach, asking if she realizes how far she's wandered off alone. Songran apologizes, saying she just wanted to experience something new. The woman asks who the people with her are, and Songran explains they saved her life. The 36 families crew thank them for taking care of the young mistress, but their smiles fade when they hear Kim wants to meet her father. They exchange wary glances, hesitant to let strangers in. It could cause problems. Songran assures them it's fine, saying these people are good. She steps forward and asks them to take her to her father. The fifth elder looks around, clearly impressed by the size of the place. Soon they arrive at the mansion mentioned earlier. Kim wonders why the entrance is so massive. The grand hall doors open, and they walk in as if they own the place. Kim feels the weight of the man's words as he says he heard Kim saved his daughter, but wants to know why. Kim wonders how he even knew that, since he didn't see anyone around. Behind him, Songran explains that they were chasing her for no reason. Kim looks around and thinks, how can one man look this intimidating? The third elder introduces herself, saying this man is the leader of the Mongo clan, and she's heard of him. The leader says his curiosity brought him here, and, once seated, immediately asks what this visit is about. Completely calm, Kim says, it's nothing major. He just wants to go against the Murim alliance and needs a meat shield, some backup. He then adds that his plan is to rule over the martial arts world. The old man starts laughing, his booming voice echoing, making Kim scratch his head awkwardly. The leader says he's not exactly a fan of the Murim alliance, but wonders why he should help someone he has no connection with. Suddenly, a man steps forward, saying he's got big news. He whispers something secret to the leader. Kim looks confused until he sees the man and give a small okay signal. Kim's eyes light up as he says, now that's some useful information. The man then walks heavily toward Kim, and Kim immediately feels that strong, dominant presence as they stand face to face. He steps back slightly, noticing a movement, and reaches for his weapon, thinking it might be a trap. But no, it's just a friendly handshake. The man smiles and says there's no need to feel awkward. That's when Songran finally understands why Kim really came here. The old man says he'll let Kim marry his daughter without any trouble. He insists that he'll personally make sure his daughter marries Kim. Noticing Kim's silence, the leader wonders if maybe Kim isn't interested in her. Kim gives a serious, calm response, making a polite gesture showing he's not ready for that. But since Songran comes from a different culture, She doesn't understand the meaning and asks if that's a yes. The third elder quickly covers Kim's mouth before he says something wild and suggests having a private talk about it. This isn't an easy decision. They need time to think. The old man understands since marriage is no small matter, so he gives them 1 hour. The group sits around a table, staring at each other. The redhead starts to sweat nervously and glances at his teammate. The third elder asks Kim what he's thinking, and Kim replies that he can't marry someone he doesn't even know. The elder calls that a stupid excuse but knows they need to act fast to keep Nullcrim's power intact. So she plans to handle the situation herself. Then an alarm catches Kim's attention. He checks his phone and sees a message about forming a team with the 36 houses of Nullcrim. With a serious expression, he thinks over the possibilities. The elder says she'll take care of it, but Kim stops her. Smiling, he says he's got another plan. Confidently standing up, he calls one of his friends, ready to handle the situation his own way. The three of them go back to meet the clan leader to clear things up. Songran asks if he's made a decision. Kim says he can't marry the general's daughter. Songran asks if she doesn't meet his standards. Kim says it's not that simple. He changes the subject, saying that to work together, they need a bond. Then he suggests they become sworn brothers from the heart. The old man looks confused and asks if he really means that. Kim nods. Songran laughs, saying Kim is completely unpredictable, but Kim's not interested in her. He knows they're on different levels. He wonders if the Mongo clan's leader can actually be trusted to stand by his side. Since there's not much left to say, Kim makes a bet to settle it. Songran, curious, asks what kind of bet it is. Kim explains it's called Capture the Flag. 2 teams face off to steal the enemy's flag. If his team wins, they'll become true brothers and allies. But if they lose, Kim will grant them any wish they want, even if it ends in a tie. Songran thinks about it and says they can't just decide something like that so easily. Kim confidently asks if the leader's scared. After a moment of thought, the leader accepts the bet, but adds one condition. If he wins, Kim will have to marry his daughter and officially join the family. Seeing Kim's expression, Songran teases him, asking if the idea of marriage scared him. A little later, Kim's crew is guarding their flag, while Kim thinks about how the general must be some kind of wild bear, but he turns out to be a sly fox. Fired up, Kim says they have to win no matter what. This isn't just defense. It's about stealing that flag. He figures the strongest man himself will probably show up. Kim asks the 5th elder how long he can hold the giant off. The redhead thinks for a second and says, maybe 15 minutes, if it's a life or death fight. Kim's shocked. The giant's strength is so immense that even the 5th elder can barely handle him. That means they've only got 15 minutes to grab the flag. Kim calls the 3rd elder over and explains the plan. When he gives the signal, she has to sprint toward the flag as fast as possible, dodging enemies, and escape if she can. He'll take care of any threats along the way so she can reach the target easily. Soon, the signal blasts. A loud horn echoes. Kim shouts for the 3rd elder to run as fast as she can. She dashes forward, leaving 2 men behind. Kim yells to the 5th elder to hold the line as long as possible, no matter what happens. The 5th elder nods and gets ready. Kim starts running too, thinking he's almost there. But something feels off. It's too quiet. His instincts kick in and he senses danger. He stops behind a tree, trying to understand the situation. He realizes he's alone while the other 3 have already headed for the flag. Seeing the opportunity, he rushes forward to steal the enemy's flag himself. But he quickly realizes he should have stayed with the 3rd elder. She's the real pro. Acting in haste, he runs straight into a trap. The joint leader suddenly appears, grabbing him by the chest. Kim tries to react, but the giant's massive hand slams into his torso, creating a shockwave that sends him flying. He crashes into a tree, his back nearly broken. Lying there, Kim hears the leader saying he expected more from Kim's martial arts skills, but is disappointed now. Kim apologizes to his team for not being able to help and waits for what comes next. Looking up, he realizes this giant might be his toughest challenge in this new world. The general, clearly bored, says this fight isn't entertaining and decides to leave, saying he'll go find the others and finish it there. Kim calls out to stop him, saying the real fun hasn't even started yet. Without a weapon, Kim knows he's outmatched. Blood blurs his vision, making it hard to aim. The leader, full of attitude, asks if this is some secret Mongol clan martial art, like there's an activation condition. Just then, there's a sudden noise. The general is holding the third elder by the head. She had tried a sneak attack. He grips her skull tighter until blood starts dripping, asking if she really thought he wouldn't give her a chance. He mocks her weak skills, saying she can't even touch him. When he realizes she actually tried to strike, he squeezes harder. Kim feels a stabbing pain in his ribs. He has to get up and help his friend. Suddenly, the fifth elder appears, landing a powerful punch straight into the general's face, drawing blood. The impact raises a huge cloud of dust. Laughing, the fifth elder thinks there's no one here strong enough to match him. The redhead shouts for the general and the elder, asking if they're okay. Kim, still dazed, asks what happened to the flag. The elder replies that he followed the noise, worried about the leader, which only makes Kim angrier. Hearing that, Kim starts to worry about losing because he's unprotected himself. He wonders if he should just shoot the leader. Suddenly, John says the flag will still be where it was since he came alone. Nervously, Kim realizes that the leader trusts his own power more than teamwork. The redhead says no matter how strong he is, he can't win alone. Then he rushes toward the enemy at full speed, yelling that the joint leader will be the reason for his own downfall. John quickly snaps back, calling him an idiot for thinking that way. Then he suggests they settle this the old-fashioned way, with punches. The redhead is totally ready for it. He charges up a punch and slams the leader into the wall, but the leader just laughs, thinking this isn't enough to satisfy his thirst for battle. He counters with a powerful hit straight to the redhead's stomach, knocking the wind out of him. Hair flying everywhere, the redhead spits out ketchup-like blood, but his eyes burn with determination, locked on the leader. He lands a sharp kick to the leader's chin, moving smoothly even after taking hits. He punches forward again, but the leader stands like a solid rock, a true martial artist. Both of them are at their peak, ready to keep fighting but showing mutual respect. Their punches create shock waves that ripple through the battlefield. The redhead realizes this guy's strength is no joke, sweat dripping down his face. Suddenly, two punches come straight for his head. He falls, and more ketchup splatters around. The leader says this still isn't enough. He tells him to get up so he doesn't lose his honor, challenging him to come at full power. But then a loud bang echoes. A shot hits his thigh. Kim says that when you're facing a pro, you should never turn your back. The leader admits it was his mistake to underestimate Kim. The fifth elder laughs, thinking his master's secret weapon actually worked against the joint leader. The leader realizes this must be some mysterious martial art that can attack from a distance without moving. But even though it's powerful, it doesn't deal heavy damage, and Kim still can't grab the flag. Scratching his head with his weapon, Kim mutters that this guy is a total monster, almost impossible to beat. But he reminds himself that even the hardest stone can break if you keep hitting the same spot. Target the weak point long enough, and it'll crack. The leader doesn't catch on to Kim's plan. He braces himself on his injured leg and charges, challenging Kim to show him what he's got. Kim promises to show him his true strength. He fires multiple shots at the leader, saying if he hits the same spot again with enough force, it's game over. The leader feels something off in his leg and collapses to the ground as ketchup splatters again. Kim quickly yells for the fifth elder to go grab the flag. The leader realizes he underestimated these kids. The fifth elder sprints toward the flag, but with one smooth jump, the leader lands in front of him, saying he'll properly apologize now. He lands hard enough to shake the ground and declares he'll give it his all for the rest of the match, so he never underestimates them again. Then he dashes forward like an arrow, landing a punch straight into his opponent's gut without stopping. He's already preparing another strike that sends his enemy flying. Getting close again, the blood leader hits the fifth elder with another punch, the impact launching the redhead several meters away until he crashes into a rock. Coughing blood, the redhead looks up as the leader confidently asks if he still looks weak now that he's fighting with full power. Suddenly, the leader notices movement on the battlefield. It's Kim, running toward the flag to win the game. But the leader appears right in front of him, asking where he's going with that much confidence. Kim wonders where this insane speed came from. The leader sighs in disappointment, saying this was fun, but it's still not enough to be called the martial arts champion. He decides to wait and see Kim's true form. We cut to a flashback. Kim's lying on his bed, relaxing. He picks up his phone and wonders what the reward will be for defeating the fifth elder. Then he thinks about how to use it in battle. Back in the fight, Kim admits he didn't expect to use his trump card. The leader looks confused, glancing up at the strange gadget in Kim's hand. Then Kim plays his last card, a light bomb aimed right at the leader. It reveals that what he used was pure science. The leader blinks, asking what Kim just did. When he opens his eyes, everything's blurry, and Kim is sprinting toward the flag. Kim says this is the most fun moment he's ever had. His science-based trump card is totally unique in this world. He declares that from now on, he'll trust the leader. Standing tall with a victory sign in his hand, Kim says he's captured the flag and sealed the win. But the leader stays silent, looking serious. Kim, confused, asks if he won't keep his promise. The leader laughs, saying the leader of the Mongo clan is truly something else. No one's ever entertained him this much. Walking closer, he says a promise is a promise, and he'll keep it. He tells his brother to take care of Kim. Kim, still confused, extends his hand, and they shake, sealing a new bond. But Kim realizes the grip is way too tight and asks why. The leader grins and says, from now on, Kim will call him Big Brother. That annoys Kim. He takes a deep breath, looking serious and intense, and says he'll do his best to keep his big brother happy. With a forced smile, he calls him Big Brother, though it clearly disgusts him. Later that night, the leader says it's been an amazing day. He raises his glass and tells everyone to do the same because the famous Mongo clan is now officially part of their family. Everyone raises their hands and cheers loudly for Kim's clan. Kim watches, wondering if the leader's really okay after taking so many hits. Then he suddenly asks where the third elder is. The redhead says she wasn't feeling well and went to rest in her room for the night. Kim thinks that makes sense. She took a lot of hits in battle. The third elder stares out the window, her face filled with guilt and sadness. In her thoughts, she calls herself useless, feeling like she disrespected her leader. Suddenly, a voice asks if the third elder's there. She turns and tells the leader he can come in. Kim enters, asking why she's alone and what she's thinking about. She says she's fine and explains that the leader held back so she wouldn't get seriously hurt. Her wounds are already healing. Kim says that's good and tells her not to stress about what comes next. But as he's leaving, he hears her softly apologizing. Curious, Kim asks what she said. She explains that she feels weak for not being able to help. Kim tells her not to think like that. The enemy was a beast. Everyone struggles in life. It's normal to fall. What matters is getting back up, brushing off the dirt, and moving forward without blaming yourself. One day she'll challenge her big brother again, and it's great that she's getting stronger, leaving behind those useless thoughts so she doesn't ruin that beautiful face of hers. He says goodbye, and with those words, Kim leaves the third elder, blushing and thankful. As soon as he steps outside, he sees two groups hanging out together. The leader calls out to his brother for a drink, saying that he and the elder might have had a little too much already. Kim thinks it's better to get some rest than get dragged into that chaos. But as he's walking away, he overhears them doubting his drinking capacity, saying they've never even seen him take a sip before, and that his alcohol tolerance must be weak. Annoyed, Kim decides to join them and says he'll drink just a little. But even before finishing a full glass, he passes out cold. The next morning, the leader tells Kim that he can always come to him for help, whether it's food, money, or anything else. Before the group leaves, Songrun shyly approaches Kim and says she has something for him, but she'll only give it to the boy she really likes. Kim stays quiet, while the fifth elder jokes that he's such a popular guy that plenty of girls like him. Kim gets a small gift, and Songrun insists he take it, but instead, she gives it to the fifth elder, revealing her crush on him. She says she made it with all her heart and hopes that even if it's not that great, at least it'll fill his stomach. Redhead apologizes, saying he might not be able to accept it since the clan leader is there. But with a smile, he says he can't waste food and accepts it anyway, knowing his friend is just being awkward. Once they return to the sect, everyone notices Kim is perfectly fine and hasn't been injured. But when he steps inside, something feels off. He wonders who that chubby guy is. He's never seen anyone like that before. The fourth elder explains that the man never learned how to have fun, so he's been making up for it by eating a lot and enjoying life. After a time skip, Kim is seen relaxing on his bed, calling out to his puppy and asking if it had fun. Suddenly, a voice from behind the door apologizes for calling so late, but says someone has come from far away to meet him. Curious, Kim asks who it is and tells him to come in. The girl steps inside quietly, apologizing for coming so late. She explains that she's brought an urgent letter from her father, and that's why she came alone. Realizing she ran all that way just to deliver it, Kim says he'd like to check the message. Looking over the paper, he starts thinking about this mysterious Nasan League. The scene then cuts to a distant place covered in darkness, but with the lights of homes still glowing. A man walks with two others, angrily rejecting a street worker's offer. They finally stop at a door and ring the bell. The attendant quickly appears and greets them, asking who they're looking for. The man says he's not searching for anyone special, just a few familiar faces who've been spending the night here. He explains that some people haven't paid for a long time and think that because they're famous, they can drink for free. The man throws a bag of coins onto the table, hoping it's enough. He's the leader of the Gorian factions, an important figure for the next generation. The receptionist tells him that the room he's looking for is just ahead. When the door opens, they see a drunken man with two companions begging for another round. As soon as he sees the leader, the drunk man laughs, saying it's good to see him again, and asks if he's brought something to drink before his execution. The bearded man gets furious at his subordinate's boldness. He calls over one of his men and insists that he must have misunderstood the situation earlier. His companion nods and he orders him to go around the nearby villages to find out who's been causing trouble with his juniors. He says to put up posters too, so the locals will know. The fifth elder is described as handsome and strong, though he tries to avoid complicated situations. When people see the third elder's poster, they call her an angel, but her situation makes things tricky. One of them might even be the mastermind behind all of this. It's Kim who convinced everyone that she's guilty. During a meeting, he says he's read the letter from Noklim Cheongchaju. He explains that they'll need to contact the Ronin Association and find someone capable of helping them. When he asks what kind of place that is, the second elder explains that it's a group of people who'll do anything for money with no ties to any orthodox or unorthodox sect. The reason they have no alliance is simple. They don't fit in anywhere. Maybe it's due to their circumstances, or maybe they're just too strong to need anyone else. They take on jobs for anyone, earn money, and live freely. They could become a powerful ally, but if they turn into enemies, that would be dangerous. The second elder concludes that seeking their help is risky. Kim thinks for a moment and remembers they only care about money. He says the best move is to offer them something more valuable than gold. The bearded man asks what that could possibly be. With a sly smile, Kim says he already knows what to do that in this situation. Intimidation is the best strategy. Everyone is shocked by his wild statement. Kim admits that nothing in this world is more valuable than money except life itself. If they can rule the martial arts world, they'll be able to control both allies and enemies. The other team might offer cash, but if lives are on the line, they won't take the deal. As long as they give their own followers fair rewards, they'll still have loyal support. The second elder doesn't fully agree, asking where the money will come from if they can't give proper compensation. Kim answers that their lives are the compensation, which confuses him even more. The first elder says it's ridiculous, arguing that Kim isn't giving anything to those cooperating with him. Quickly changing the topic, Kim tells the third and fifth elders to prepare for another journey. The third elder raises her hand and apologizes, saying she might not be able to go this time. Kim worries about leaving her behind, but she explains that during their last journey, she realized her current strength isn't enough to support the cult leader. Kim had already told her not to feel useless, and she agrees but says she still wants to grow stronger and go on a training journey. When they return, she'll be more powerful. Kim nods and says they'll need another third elder. He considers taking the second elder, but the man apologizes, saying he's busy with Mongo clan affairs and can't leave. Knowing how important it is to have help, Kim thinks for a moment and decides to take one of the two less useful elders. He points at the fourth elder and says he'll come along, Suddenly, the first elder shouts that he can't help on this trip and tells the fourth elder to take care of Kim and protect him. Furious, Kim thinks about ending him right there. The carriage moves out with the crew, and Songrun decides to join them too. Kim asks why, and she says she can help the fifth elder. Redhead laughs, saying if the leader's brother's daughter insists, then he has no choice. The coachman announces that they've arrived at their destination. As they get off, Kim looks around and thinks this place feels way too strange to be a mercenary hangout. He wonders if they're even in the right spot. The fifth elder confirms it is. This was the exact place mentioned in Kim's brother's letter. He figures someone will come to guide them. From behind a tree, someone's watching and getting ready to shoot an arrow at Kim. The fourth elder notices just in time and takes the arrow to his side. Blood splatters everywhere. A voice mutters that this is disappointing, and the fifth elder steps forward, demanding to know who's hiding there. The stranger says he thought Kim would be tougher, especially since he's a guest of his master, but clearly he couldn't even dodge one arrow. He warns them that if Kim tries to enter the Nangan Association, he'll be finished. Kim glares back, wondering if everyone here is actually insane. The fifth elder, dead serious, asks who's attacking them, only to learn this long-haired man is supposed to be their guide. But the man says that no matter how he looks, if they try to step into the association, they're doomed. Kim steps in front of the fifth elder and snaps that if this guy is their guide, he should do his job properly instead of running his mouth. The man notices Kim's pride and says there's one condition to enter. Someone has to prove their skills by passing a simple test. Kim stays quiet, but looks ready. Meanwhile, the fourth elder is groaning in pain from the arrow wound. The man explains that the test is easy and tells them to hit the target ahead. Kim asks why it looks so obvious, and the guy grins, saying it's not that simple. Behind the first target is another one. They'll have to hit one and avoid the other. Kim pauses, realizing what that means. Seeing his confusion, the guide decides to show him. He readies his weapon, takes careful aim, and fires an arrow faster than lightning. Kim is impressed. It hits the second target cleanly, missing the first. The impact shakes the target stand. With a confident smirk, the guide says it's easy, and if they can do it, he'll guide them without a problem. Then he hands his bow to Kim, who refuses, saying he'll do it his own way. Kim raises his weapon toward the target. The guide eyes it curiously, thinking he's never seen such a tool before. A loud crack echoes. The first target is hit perfectly. The guide bursts out laughing, mocking him, saying there's no way he could have done it with such a basic weapon. He tells Kim not to worry, that no one nails it on the first try. But before he can finish, more shots ring out, non-stop. Kim empties his magazine into the targets. When he's done, he turns to the guide and calmly asks if the deal's complete. The guide hesitates, trying to dodge the question, but Kim reminds him the test was to hit the target at the back. No one ever said he had to hit the front one first. Then he orders him to show the way to the Ronin Association. The tense guide finally agrees, but says they'll leave in the morning, since it's too late now. Night deepens. Footsteps approach their camp. A voice asks if this is where Kim was last seen. As one of them steps forward, someone yells to get his attention. It's the guide, demanding to know who they are since his master wasn't expecting guests. Hand on his bow, he eyes them suspiciously, asking what business they have there. Suddenly, the oldest man steps up, claiming he's with the Conlin crew. He says he heard the people they've been searching for came here and wants to confirm it. The guide thinks he should probably do some background checking first. The people on the posters are hard to forget. One woman, absolutely stunning. Another guy looks like he's just here for a party. And the last one? Yeah, that's the same guy who was acting strange before going in. The tension is thick, like something big's about to go down. But since Kim and his group are the master's direct guests, the guide knows he has to be careful. The Conlin leader gets impatient, demanding an answer. The guide replies that there's no reason to give one. Confused, the man insists that he can't let things get messy. The guide simply says he doesn't feel like sharing, and then warns that this is private property. If their business is done, they should leave. The Conlin leader realizes Kim must be hiding in that house they're about to enter. The tension in the air spikes even higher. Inside, Kim, who was trying to get some rest, hears the commotion and asks what all the noise is about. The irritated guide says he was trying to cover for them, but now things are getting out of hand. When the Conlin leader sees Kim, he orders the wanted posters brought over. It doesn't take long for him to recognize the red-haired guy as the one he's been hunting, and the man beside him must be the gang leader behind all this. Kim stays silent, staring at the lousy sketch, while they comment that the likeness is spot on. Serious and furious, Kim calls the drawing trash and asks how this guy even compares to him. Then, noticing their clothes, he realizes these are the same people who caused chaos in the district. He asks if they've come for revenge. The Conlin leader admits that a few days ago, these people destroyed his disciples. As a senior, it's his job to step in and settle this, like a big brother. Kim immediately fires back that he should pay more attention. His juniors started the whole thing. After losing, they ran back to him crying. Kim asks why he'd do that, saying it's a disgrace for any man. The leader insists that's not how it went. The newly appointed leader attacked his men first, and if their clan's reputation takes a hit, it'll cause real problems. That's why he's here. Seeing his overconfidence, Kim smirks and says they should fight for real, to see who's truly the strongest. The Conlin leader snarls that Kim's confidence is out of control, and that soon he'll be begging for mercy, but he won't get any. Then he charges forward with full power, yelling for Kim to face his fate. A sudden punch flies at lightning speed, faster than Kim expected. He barely blocks it with his sword, but the sheer force drags him backward, scraping across the ground. The fifth elder grins, saying Kim should follow orders and not rush ahead. The disciples shout, wondering how he even dares to challenge their leader. But less than a second later, a bullet rips through the air, hitting one of the disciples straight in the head, killing him instantly. His friend barely has time to process before the body slams to the floor. Shocked, he can only think, what just happened? Kim, holding his smoking gun, says this is a one-on-one fight, and no one else is allowed to interfere, even if they want to.